So during the final chapters of the game, you have the Monado replica side quests. But which Monado replica is the best? Well, in my personal opinion, I prefer the Monado Rudra and the Monado Abyss, as both Monados are designed to increase the general damage of the Monado, with the Monado Rudra of course increasing the minimum attack damage, whilst the Monado Abyss increases the maximum. The other replicas can be used really effectively as well, however I find that you want to build Shulk in a certain way for them to be most effective, whereas both the Rudra and the Abyss tend to work great on whatever Shulk build you're running. So if you want to win the enemy with a little bit of cheese, then there's a decent strategy for Reyn. Pair the gem Aura Heal with the Aura Engage and Guard Shift. Engage requires that the enemy stay aggroed onto Reyn, whilst Guard Shift gives yourself a perfect block rate. Blocking the enemy reduces the damage you will take, and the Aura Heal gem in combination with Engage should keep you sustained for most of the fight, preventing the enemy from doing anything else. However, of course keep in mind this doesn't work with multiple enemies and if the said enemy has an AoE attack. Although very difficult to pull off, Sharla's headshot art can inflict one of the best effects in the game, instant death. However, of course, the enemy requires that they need to be dazed. Fortunately, she has her own daze art herself. However, when paired with Dunban and his Thunder combo from episode 1 of this series, it can actually be used quite effectively for some cheesy kills. Agility is arguably the most important stat in the entire Xenoblade game, so it's a very good thing when Dunban has a lot of it. Dunban is the character with the highest base agility and can reach the highest agility of any of the party members, so it's highly recommended to use Dunban when intending to fight higher level enemies, as the increased agility will help and allow Dunban to evade more attacks and actually hit his own. So if you're struggling with the super bosses, try Dunban out. So I think what's widely agreed upon is that heavy armor is the worst type of gear in the game. Or is it? Well, heavy armor provides you always with the highest physical defense of any type of gear. However, it's very lacking in the ether department, as well as having a very high weight stat. However, I actually recommend using heavy gear on Melia. Thanks to her heavyweight expert skill, she gains a lot of ether defense for each part of heavyweight equipment that she has applied. And skill link some of Dunban's weight reduction skills, and you'll be right as Reyn. Reyn. Riki's Yoink is a very interesting talent gauge, being able to steal stats, EXP and AP from the enemies by just a press of the button, but it can also of course steal items, specifically very rare items. It is possible and recommended in some places to grind enemies using Riki's Yoink ability by getting a talent gauge, yoinking the enemy and running out of combat, and then repeating over and over until you get the rare item that you're looking for. Check the Xenoblade wiki, as it does specify items that can be yoinked from certain enemies. Now, in my opinion, Fiora's best art is Final Cross. It's an incredibly strong ether art which hits all enemies in front of her and forces topple. What's not to love? Well, the only thing that's not to love about it is that you can only ever use Final Cross at very high tension. So make sure to run initial tension gems and do as much as humanly possible to get Final Cross on board as soon and early as possible, as it makes topple lock strategies an absolute breeze.